separating the well from the sick. You are being deployed into the city service tunnels to locate civilians and escort them to safety.
Hey, Walking Dead fans, welcome back to the channel. This will be a World Beyond review of episode 7. So it's really just the military parts, the flashbacks of character Huck inside episode 7 of World Beyond. So definitely spoiler alert if you're not caught up to World Beyond. But at one point, Huck finds a backpack on a walker. She looks through it and she finds some boots that maybe will fit Silas. She keeps those. She finds some stuff in the pack. She finds that this person, and I hate to say was a Marine because Felix asked later, so he was a Marine, and she said still is. So am I. So she finds a Marine. She finds this stuff in there. She finds the pin, the emblem, Marine emblem pin of the soldier, and she thinks back. She remembers back to a guy, it's hard to say, boyfriend, girlfriend. It doesn't really go so far into depth. They're like best friends, but we don't know if there's a romance there as it goes along. We see Huck back in the military, back in the Marines with her unit, and she's supposed to be a sniper. She's supposed to be good with a gun. We do see her throwing darts and hitting a bullseye with a blindfold on, so that's pretty good. Just from her spotter, the guy with the scar, telling her where she is and how far away the board is and stuff like that. So the guy with the scar, seemingly fresh, happened somehow. I'm not sure if it even said how it happened. This is how Huck got her scar. I thought maybe something happened, something attacked her or in some type of fight. Huck got that scar, and we would learn that later. But what we did learn in episode 7 is that she gave it to herself with a knife in remembrance of her friend and what happened. A remembrance of the sacrifice, and it plays into the other character, Hope. On the night the sky fell, Hope and her mom ended up running into Elton's mom, who shoots Hope's mom, who then picks up the gun and shoots Elton's mom. So that is weighing down on the character Hope, who tells Huck about it in the episode, and Huck says she understands about holding something in. So as we're progressing through the flashbacks, we learn that, hey, this guy with the scar is her friend. She's throwing the darts. She's doing this, and she's in her unit. They get called in. They see some stuff on the news. Hospitals are being closed down. Too many people are overrunning the hospitals. They have to shut down. National Guard's being called in. Different things like that. The whole thing's happening, right? So they call in this Marine unit, and eventually some orders come in, a protocol. They call it Sunset Protocol.
Sunset protocols are in effect. Pending final authorization, all units in the hot zone will be directed to kill all targets in their grid.
So it's my understanding protocols are usually in place already, and operations happen then in the military, like, for an example, Operation Cobalt. Operation Cobalt happened, the bombing of the cities and stuff like that, and we know it was shooting of civilians and bombing of civilians and like a giving up kind of strategy. We're going to pull back, hostile civilians, everything needs to be taken care of. We can't distinguish between the two. To eradicate the enemy, to do the best we can, we're just going to start shooting. We're going to kill civilians. We're going to kill hostiles. We're going to wipe everything out and just have a clean slate. That's what Sunset Protocol was. It said, kill the civilians, kill the hostiles, kill the civilians. Let's just mop this thing up. And that's what Huck had a problem with.
That means you put down anything still walking, friendly or unfriendly, civilian or hostile.
And at the point they were about to mow down a bunch of civilians, women, men, kids, Huck said, I can't do this. And instead of just turning away, walking away, probably getting arrested, like they said, you would get arrested and court-martialed and all this kind of stuff if you didn't follow the orders. Huck's decision was to kill her fellow Marines instead of letting them kill the civilians or any other outcome. That was her decision. And that's the whole thing. Was it justified? Was her morals justified. Like, I know about the military. When an order comes down, it comes down. And yeah, you have the choice of not doing it. Like they said in the show, you get arrested or something will happen to you because that's not standard procedure. You follow orders. That's just the way it goes. Even if it is, hey, kill those civilians. That's just, upper command. You're supposed to have, like the soldier said, it's coming from God. You're supposed to understand they have knowledge you don't. So, they understand that it's the best decision to make. That's what you're hoping anyway as a soldier, and then you carry out the order.
We can't do this.
An order from Central Command is like an order from God. We have to. What if shooting them is the only way to stop this thing from spreading?
But going back to the protocol and operations thing, and I tried to Google it and didn't get a really good answer, so maybe you guys can help clarify, and maybe I'm just asking a stupid question or the wrong question. But this guy said Sunset Protocols initiated, okay? And we've learned about Operation Cobalt being initiated. So is a protocol inside an operation, or is an operation part of a protocol? Is one inside the other? Does one go before the other? And are they related? I did speak with a military friend of mine who didn't really know. They thought the protocol came first in the operation, but they also said it could be totally separate orders, totally separate things. But about the morality of it all, about her doing that, saving those people, killing her friends. I mean, I remember talking to this college professor about all these situations of you're standing on a train bridge or train dock or something, and a train's coming and it's about to hit some people, but you can push this guy in front of the train and it'll kill him, but it'll save these 3 people. And there was all of these thought experiments like that, and that I guess the professor teaches it into his class, but we were just talking and I was like, that's crazy, what would you do? And it's just these thought experiments about what would you do. And I think early Walking Dead, all the way through, say, season 5, regardless of the actual little story arcs and stuff, it was about looking at these people and being in a situation, all these different situations. Would you, in Shane's situation, would you kill another guy to be able to get away, to be able to get some medicine, to get back to save Carl kind of thing? Would you sacrifice? Would you trip your friend kind of thing? That's what it all comes down to. And I think early Walking Dead, that was the appeal. That was the big thing. Like, what would I do in that situation? What would you do in that situation? What would my friends do in that situation? And this is one of those times, as far as Huck goes, it's like, what would you do in that situation? Really? For real, like totally for real. I personally don't think I could shoot my friends in the unit, but I sure couldn't shoot the people. But would I walk away and let them go ahead and shoot those civilians because it's happening everywhere, not just your unit? I mean, it's a military-wide thing, probably not just a city contained to them kind of thing. It's a military-wide thing. Civilians are being killed everywhere. So I kill my friends to save this one little group of people, or do I walk away and just suffer the consequences myself? A disciplined soldier? I don't know. I don't know how many out there that would not follow the orders. That's another question I'm throwing out more to you military guys, military people out there, retired, older military, or, fresh, still in the military, and all branches, really. I mean, it's a humdinger for sure, but Huck took the path of shooting her unit, her friend with a scar, because he put a gun on her. He said, I don't know who you are. And undoubtedly, she didn't know who they were, following orders to kill citizens. And you got to admit, in this one part where all the Marines were lined up about to shoot through a chain link fence at civilians, we all know that they can't really do that in the Walking Dead universe anyway. The military seems to not be able to fire through a chain link fence because they keep hitting the links in the fence. It just bounces off and it never hits. You know, if there's a bunch of walkers coming from the other side, they just never can seem to kill them and stuff like that. So the civilians might have been okay all along.
I heard it came back in a rocket. That it started in space.
And then we got the hint about the space thing again, and we hear it all the time from the song at the end of season 1, episode 1, and when Rick was flying away on the helicopter to, Robert Kirkman teasing it from space, just in all kinds of different ways. And then in this show, World Beyond, earlier we had a poster on the wall of Elton's dad talking about meteor coming in and pointing to the same kind of thing. Could that be the meteor? And there's some theories out there about that. The poster on the wall and the dad and those kind of things coming from space. But this soldier said a rocket. And that, of course, points to Night of the Living Dead, the Venus space probe that came from Venus, the radiation that caused the zombie plague and stuff like that. And just after that little part, we get something that we've talked about countless times, 2 shots to the body, 1 shot to the head, and those kind of things about figuring out it's a headshot that does bring them down, and that should be figured out fairly quickly. And it seems like these are probably the very first 2 walkers that this Marine unit encounters, and they start shooting, and then Huck's like, okay, headshot, that brought them down.
You see more go for the heads. That did it.
So as far as the Marines go anyway, they seem to figure it out pretty quick. And I bet the other military did as well. Eventually, it didn't show it on screen very much. But it brings forth all kinds of theories about the bog tape. It brings forth theories about, National Guard against Army. Maybe the National Guard was protecting during the Sunset Protocols, and that's why they brought it up here, and it'll all tie together. The National Guard said, hey, these are our families, this is us. Maybe the Army was told to take out the National Guard at that level as well. But it just seems like maybe some soldiers were trying to protect citizens that were being slaughtered. And Elizabeth is slaughtering citizens or people even now. So how does it all tie together? There's a lot of theories out there, but that's left open for the discussion below, right? After this episode, episode 7, I do think it also answers the question. I do not think Huck is Elizabeth's daughter. I do not think Huck is a spy. My own personal theory. So you can let me know what you think about that as well, about Huck after watching this episode. What you think about that theory now that you've seen this. She still could be a spy. That's a plausible thing, but I definitely don't think she is Elizabeth's daughter. That would be weird at this point. But you guys let me know what you think about it down in the discussion below, and I will join you there. Stay safe, stay healthy. This is James in Nashville. As always, thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe for more dead stuff.